Okay. Can everybody see Mr. Emmanuel?
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right. So I would like to please, with very, very, very loud round of applause, virtual round of applause, permit me to welcome Mr. President, Honorable Odufia, to welcome us all. Mr. President, sir, you can unmute yourself. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you everyone. And I'm really excited about the enthusiasm that we have, seeing the number of people who are here and also on time. Punctuality is a very great sign of leadership. So I'll go straight to my address, all of us. Distinguished guests, my fellow alumni, and most importantly, prospective fellows of the LMI program, good evening. On behalf of the Association of Alumni of the Legislative Initiative, the AALMI, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this application masterclass. You are here today because, in one way or another, you have chosen to step forward. And leadership often begins exactly there, a willingness to step forward, to prepare yourself, and to accept some responsibility for the future you want to see. And in this case, for the future of a greater, more efficient, and beautiful Nigeria. And leadership, and this kind of leadership is the spirit of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. I wouldn't want to talk a lot about the LMI myself because I'm sure one of the speakers will give a bigger, picture of what the LMI is about. However, briefly, the LMI was created around a simple but important idea that the future of leadership in Nigeria cannot be left to chance. We must deliberately identify, prepare, and connect young people who are willing to serve, willing to learn, and willing to contribute to something larger than themselves. For those of us who have gone through this program, one of its greatest gifts is that it does not truly end at the closing ceremony because our community continues. And that is where the AALMI comes in. And so we carry the spirit of the LMI forward. Today, we're a network of more than 200 fellows across Nigeria and beyond, working in government, law, business, development, technology, civil society, education, and so on. We are in different professions, from different backgrounds, and we have different experiences. But we share a belief that leadership must mean more than personal advancement. It must mean service, responsibility, and contribution. It must carry the hopes of a greater Nigeria. Over time, the alumni has worked to turn that belief into action. We have convened policy conversations, supported advocacy initiatives, and contributed to publications. In fact, we even launched a book sometime last year. Earlier this year, we organized the career fair and policy dialogue, bringing together our fellows and organizations to discuss opportunities, careers, and the future of work. And this is just a snippet to some of the things we do. We are also building initiatives around professional development, postgraduate opportunities, community service, and stronger connections among fellows. But I want to say something that is even more important than all of those programs. The alumni's greatest asset is not the events, publications, the programs. It is the people, we the people, you the people. It is the fellow who hears about an opportunity and thinks of you. It is the person who has walked a road before you and is willing to show you the way. It is the lawyer who supports the entrepreneur, the policymaker who exchanges ideas with the development practitioner, the person in Abuja who opens a door for someone in Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, London, or somewhere else entirely. That is what community can do. None of us knows every opportunity. None of us possesses every skill. None of us has every connection. But together we become more knowledgeable, more connected, more capable, and ultimately more impactful. And that is one of the strongest reasons anyone should want to join the LMI. And so I'm selling the LMI to you, one, as a fantastic program in and of itself, but also to look forward to not just the program, but beyond that, the community and the friendships that comes out of it. Yes, you will learn. Yes, you will gain exposure, but you will also become a part of a community that will expect more of you because the strongest communities are not built by people who only ask, what can I gain? They are built by people who ask, what can I contribute? As you listen to the facilitators today, and as they take you through the application in much greater detail, I hope you keep that question in mind. Not simply, how do I get into LMI, but what kind of fellow would I be if I got in? And I know this will shape your essays and your preparation to become part of this community. Would you strengthen the community? And I'm sure those essays would be asking some of these questions. Would you bring ideas? Would you show up for others? And how have you showed up for others in the past? Would you use the opportunities you receive not only to advance yourself, but to create opportunities for someone else? Because ultimately, institutions become strong when people enter them determined not merely to belong, but to build. Nigeria has no shortage of talented young people. Our greatest challenge is turning talent into service and networks into communities that actually solve problems. That is the responsibility before us today. So I hope that today is useful to you, and I know it will. I hope you ask questions. I hope you learn from the experiences we share. And I hope that when you eventually submit your application, you do so with a clearer understanding, not only of what you are applying for, but of what you are applying to become part of. Again, I repeat that you make your application not only because of what you're applying for, but for what you're applying to become a part of. In a few months, some of you will become LMI fellows, and perhaps a few years from now, you'll be the ones organizing a session like this, opening the door for another young Nigerian coming behind you. That is how the community survives. That is how opportunity multiplies. That is how leadership renews itself. And that's how we begin the journey of building our nation. I welcome you all and also say a big thank you to every alumni who has made this day possible. You will interact with some of them who are going to give sessions, topics, or speak on applications. But there are a lot of them behind the scenes who have done a remarkable job for us to have this session. And so I say thank you to them. We are delighted to have you with us. And I wish you every success in your application. Have a fantastic evening, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. We're grateful. All right. Yeah, I can see the very, 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 very loud round of applause. Okay, so right away we'll be going to the next agenda. We have a very, very special guest, and I will be introducing her right now. She is currently the special assistant. Let me she's currently the special assistant to the executive chairman, Kaduna State Inland Revenue Service, and also the speaker, Legislative Mentorship Initiative Parliament Cohort 2. She is no other person but Honorable Bernice Abeku. And Honorable Bernice will be giving us our keynote address. And I want you to give her a very, very, very thunderous round of applause. Honorable Bernice, the floor is yours.
Wow, such a warm welcome. Thank you, moderator. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to the executives of the Alumni Association of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. It's such an honor to be here this evening. And when I was told that I'll be giving the keynote speech, I sort of felt, well, I say somewhat inadequate. But yeah, it's always an opportunity to speak with someone. You don't know when something you say would inspire someone. So I'm not saying anything fancy this evening. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you. And I hope that in some way they're able to help you because someone said something at some point that helped me as well. So yeah, good evening again. My name is Bernice Abiku and I have been a beneficiary of the LMI. And first of all, I want to say I'm proud of every single person in this room, even if I don't know you, because it's a Friday evening. And for young people, after going through the hurdles of adulting in Nigeria for a whole week, on a Friday evening, you just want to chill, right? If you are a homebody like me, you will somewhere be on your couch, probably on your couch, watching a movie or something, or preparing to go out.
Sorry, madam.
But you're here.
I just want to make a very short announcement. I'm really sorry. Uh, Honorable Emmanuel, we cannot see you. Please, if you can hear me, can you just turn on your video so that the people following you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hello, I'm here.
Oh, you're here?
Yes.
Okay. I need to.
Moderator, you will pay me back my time.
Yeah, you have all. All right, please, you
Okay.
can go on, ma.
So I was saying it's a Friday evening, TGIF, yeah? And typically you would want to just find some way to just, blow off steam. But you are here listening to how you can be part of a group of people that will be sitting in class for 3 weeks. That says something to me about your kind of person. You are somebody that understands that you need to be mentored. You need to understand how processes in Nigeria, how processes happen, how policy decisions are made, and that is why you are here. So I commend everybody that is in this room this evening. I also want to say it's not an accident because we are at a very pivotal time in our nation's history. We are in a data-driven, resource-hungry world that countries are. It's really literally a dog eat dog situation out there. There's every country is optimizing and maximizing their competitive advantage, but you find out that Nigeria is somewhat left behind, not because we don't have the potential to do great. We have the resources, both the natural resources, we have the human capital and all of that. But somehow we have under negotiated, we have underplayed our hands severally. And today, what we see as sort of bad governance is just a result of poor negotiation. We've not presented ourselves in the best way. And that's what makes the LMI stand out, because it puts you in a situation that you understand how legislation is done. You understand how the people sitting in those rooms arguing those cases go about it, and how that ends up becoming, will I say, policy that affects the life of Nigeria as a whole. Let's use the subsidy situation, for example. It doesn't matter who you are affected by the absence or presence of subsidy, and that's just an example. So I commend everybody here. Let me not dwell too much on that. If you've read my profile, you understand that I am a geoscientist. Yeah, so my first degree is in geology and mining. And for MSc, I did geographic information systems, which is data driven. But in all of that, what I learned was that it's not about finding a way to remove the resources from the ground. It's about the policy decisions that make the resources work for the people. And somehow, in all of that, I found myself in government. So I'm a lot like you. And like I said, that's the reason why Nigeria needs you. But ultimately, you are here because you want to understand how to apply for this program in a way that makes you present your best self, that makes the will I say the reviewer see you as the best fit for the fellowship. Can you help me mute this person? I think it's this person. Okay.
Please, we have ground rules. If you unmute yourself again, I would have to remove you. Who's this person?
I think I see Ela as the name.
Please, Ela, can you mute yourself?
Okay.
Ela Lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please.
Yes.
Thank you. Mute
Hello.
yourself. Can you mute yourself?
Lot Ajay
Okay.
from Nasarawa State, Latvia.
No. I'm not asking you to talk. I said you should mute yourself.
Okay. I think he's done that, so we can proceed. And I know there's a lot of tension when you are expected to present your best self. Sometimes there's the pressure to, over-represent, or, maybe you feel, oh, I'm too much in certain areas, so I shouldn't show those sides of me. I'm here to tell you that as good as it is that you put your best foot forward, you shouldn't overemphasize that at the expense of not being yourself in your application. What I know for sure is that ingenuity, like being your genuine self, there's always a place for that. There's always a solution, or you are always, your genuine self is a solution or an answer to a problem that exists. So as long as you prioritize being yourself, and you just show, oh, this is what I've done, this is what I've done in the best and most honest way that you can, I don't see a reason why you would not stand out in the LMI application. I won't dwell so much on that because that is the task for other people. But finally, I would just add to what Mr. President said earlier. Oh, someone said I'm not audible enough. Can you hear me now? Okay, I have go ahead to continue. I would again market the alumni association to you, because it's, you are in the LMI itself for just 3 weeks, but you will be an alumni for the rest of your lives. And in the next few weeks or the next coming months, some of you would become members of the alumni, and that's something that we are actually looking forward to, because the alumni itself is a group of like really driven people. Sometimes I look at the caliber of people that we have in the alumni, people doing different things. Like when you hear some of the things that alumni are doing, it is mind blowing. And I am telling you that is the group of people that you would become a part of. So keep that in mind as as you apply. We don't have all the answers, and we are doing a lot of things, but of course there's still more to be done. And that's the reason why we are always happy to welcome new people, because we know you are bringing bright ideas. We know you are coming with innovations and just ways that we could make our visibility, the work we do and the impact we do, wider. We are a family in the sense that we look out for each other. We connect each other with opportunities, not because, sometimes there's this belief that when you enter these government spaces, automatically jobs wait for you. Sometimes it happens, but that's not always the case. But what the alumni presents to you is a group of people that look out for each other. We connect ourselves to opportunities when we have them. We do business with each other. We invest in each other. So I'll close by saying that as much as Nigeria is looking forward to having a leader as capable as you, learning from the LMI, the alumni itself is waiting for you to come in, waiting for you to contribute to the work that we do. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much. That was really needed. Thank you. All right. So moving on, we'll be moving to the crux of the matter. Yeah. And yeah, great speech. Thank you. Thank you on her behalf. All right. So I would be introducing the first speaker, Honorable Eloka Odua. Honorable Eloka Odua will be speaking on driving inclusion at the LMI and the AALMI. He will talk about LMI applications and program for persons living with disability. And why not? Because he is a person, he's also a person with disability. So he's the best person to talk about how and why we are very, very inclusive as an organization and alumni community. So, Mr. Eloka, if you can hear me, please, you can unmute yourself and the floor is yours.
Hi. Sorry, please, I just wanted to bring to the notice. Emmanuel, please, can you turn your camera?
Yes. I wanted to say that you are upside down, or how would I say it? You should turn. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Honorable Pamela, for noting that. All right. Honorable Eloka, if you're there, you can unmute yourself and Honorable Eloka, are you there? Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you very clearly. I'm trying to pin you so everyone can see you. Please, you can go on. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here, and I am particularly excited to speak about a subject that is both personal and deeply important to me. I want to begin with a simple message, and that is inclusion is not about creating a separate space for people with disabilities. It's about ensuring that the spaces that already exist are designed so that everyone can enter, participate, contribute, and lead. So my LMI experience is a very good example of what that can look like. I first heard about LMI in 2022 when a friend of mine was selected for the first cohort. At the time, I saw LMI as a unique opportunity to gain practical leadership skills and gain hands-on experience in public sector leadership, and importantly, learn alongside other young Nigerians who are passionate about leadership and national development. So when the opportunity came to apply, I decided to put myself forward. The application process was relatively straightforward. I answered the essay questions and submitted a video as part of the application process. And as a visually impaired applicant, I think it's very important for me to say this. I did not encounter any significant accessibility barrier during the application process. That may sound like a small thing, but it is actually significant. Why, you may ask? You see, for persons with disabilities, accessibility can sometimes become a barrier before we even get to the opportunity to demonstrate our abilities. Inaccessible application processes, inaccessible interviews, assessments, and inaccessible communications can prevent a qualified person from ever getting through the door. In my case, that fortunately did not happen. I was able to apply, compete, and be considered on the basis of my potential. And eventually, I became part of the third cohort of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative in 2024. We came from different backgrounds and different parts of the country. We were brought together around one common objective: to learn, grow, and become leaders, right? The program, my experience really at the program, I would say that we're taking through 21 days of intense theoretical and practical training. We learned about public speaking, Nigerian history, protocol, and etiquette. We also had mentorship sessions and learning visits to institutions and locations, including the National Institute for Democratic National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies, a National Assembly Library, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, UNDP, the Shehu Musa Yar'Adua Center, to mention a few. I hope my memory serves me right. So LMI was not simply about sitting in a classroom and listening to lectures. It was about learning, observing, and engaging in leadership experience from different contexts. One of the experiences that particularly stayed with me was our visit to Zuma Rock, where young Nigerians from 6 different fellowship programs came together for what eventually became known as the Declaration of Zuma Rock. Excuse me. For me, that experience demonstrated the power of bringing young leaders across different programs and backgrounds to imagine the kind of Nigeria we want to build. But there is another part of my LMI experience that is particularly important for today's conversation. Now, I am visually impaired, and there was another fellow with disability, Adibo, who is deaf. What made my LMI experience memorable for me was that disability inclusion was not merely treated as an afterthought. LMI was intentional about ensuring that we could participate fully. Reasonable accommodation was provided, and we were adequately supported throughout the program. This actually meant that we were not simply present, we participated, we engaged, we contributed, and we led. That distinction is extremely important. Again, you might ask why, and I'll let you know that there is a difference between being included in the room and being enabled to participate meaningfully in what happens in that room. LMI gave me the latter experience, and perhaps one of the clearest demonstration of that came during our leadership elections. Adebo and I both contested for 2 of the 10 leadership positions within the fellowship. At the end of that process, Adebo emerged as minority leader, while I emerged as deputy minority leader. Now think about what that represents for a second, right? And then you get to see how 2 young Nigerians with disabilities were not merely accommodated within a leadership program. We contested for leadership and were elected into leadership positions by our peers. For me, that was powerful. It demonstrated that when barriers are removed, people are given a genuine opportunity to participate. It shows that disability does not prevent leadership. So my LMI experience strengthened my it actually strengthened my confidence in occupying leadership positions and contributing meaningfully within such leadership positions. It exposed me to different perspectives, strengthened my understanding of public sector institutions, and actually gave me the opportunity to develop relationship with people from different parts of Nigeria and different backgrounds as well. I think I would say most importantly, LMI helped reinforce my belief that persons with disabilities should not only be beneficiaries of policies and programs, we should also be part of decision makers and policy influencers. We should also be part of the leadership in designing these policies as well. So I would say that to every person with a disability listening to me tonight who may be wondering whether you should apply for LMI, my message is simple, really. Apply. Do not disqualify yourself before the organization has had the opportunity to consider you. Do not assume that because you have a disability, a leadership program is not meant for you. Don't wait until every barrier has been removed before you start pursuing leadership opportunities. Please apply. Ask for the accommodations that you need. Tell people what you can contribute and give yourself the opportunity to discover what you are capable of. My own LMI journey began because I saw a friend selected in the first cohort. That friend is not even a person with disability. However, I was encouraged and I applied. And after 2 attempts, I became a fellow. I participated fully. I contested for leadership. And as I mentioned earlier, I emerged as deputy minority leader. So if there's anything I want you to take away from my story, really, it is this. Disability should not be used as a reason to close the door on leadership, and neither should we allow inaccessible processes close that door for us. So let me end by returning to where I started. Inclusion is not simply about opening the door. It's really about making sure that people can find the door, enter it, ensuring that once they are inside, they can participate, contribute their ideas, contribute on an equal basis, and ultimately have the opportunity to lead. My experience at LMI showed me that this is clearly possible. And I believe that ALMI can take that commitment even further by I believe that Elmi can take that commitment even further by showing that the leadership community it intends to build is a place where not just words are spoken about, but it's a lived experience where diversity and inclusion are things that we get to live. So as persons with disabilities, see yourself as a leader, apply, participate, contest, lead. I'll wrap this up by saying in the LMI way, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elka. Thank you so much. All right. Moving on. Very briefly and powerfully, I would be welcoming someone very, very important to talk to us about LMI. And that person is no other person but the LMI coordinator herself, Honorable Dr. Kuti Ango Dada. She would be telling us about the LMI program, the program structure, objectives, and application requirements. The floor is yours, Dr. Kuti.
Hello, good evening. Thank you so much, Madam Moderator. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who is on the call, and thank you to Honorable Eloka for a very nice session. We would be speaking about what LMI is all about. And Madam Moderator, kindly confirm that you can project the presentation from your end.
Yes, I can. Let me just do that 1 second.
All right, great. So once the presentation is up, we would just use the slides to guide our conversations. Again, welcome to everyone, and we're all happy to have you here. Yeah. All right, perhaps I should start off before you get the slides moving, and then we can, okay, great. All right, great. So we have the slides and we are good to go. We will just be using the slides to guide our conversation. And, of course, we all know what LMI is. That's the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. And we're all about building the next generation of public sector leaders. And in this short presentation, we will be talking about what the program is, what we offer, who we are looking for, and, just a little bit on how you should apply. Again, I'm Dr. Kuti Ango Dada. I am a fellow of the third cohort, and I am also the LMI coordinator. We can proceed. All right, so LMI is such a prestigious fellowship, and it's for anyone who is really interested in public sector leadership or in the legislative leadership. And there are just a few things that you need to put yourself to do for you to be a part of this. The first thing is, of course, you're being on this call right now tells us that you have the motivation, that you want to be a part of this fellowship, and that you see that you have the potential. And then once you have identified yourself as a young leader who should be a part of this fellowship, then the preparation starts. And I think that everyone who is on this call is preparing for one thing, at least, to apply. And LMI also is that place where you get access. It's that place where, of course, you get access to mentorship, but you also get access to a group of leaders, a group of young leaders like yourself who have shared visions, whom you can collaborate to do impact. So think about LMI as a structured pathway for young Nigerians and very soon young Africans to contribute meaningfully to public sector leadership. And the beauty of it is every sector, every sector is represented. So this is not a platform that is only for social sciences or for people who are, who have studied only sciences. It's everyone, because again, we say a lot of times that nation building is a joint task, and we want to have everyone involved. Admin, if you could kindly help me with Mr. Machibadi. I think his mic is unmuted. Thank you. So pretty much that's it for us, We can have the next slide, please. All right, so the question is, why was LMI created in any ways? LMI has one thing in mind, we realize that, Nigerians are actually great. We have potential, there's the desire to lead, but there are a lot of people asking, how do I get into leadership? There's ambition, but then there's no access, And so LMI is like that intervention. It's that bridge. I love to say it this way, that it takes you from point A to point B. So we meet you at where you are. We meet you doing something already. You are in motion, and then we give you that extra push. And that's what LMI is really about, mentorship and creating a pathway for people to actualize their dreams. We can go to the next slide. Now let's talk about the big man, the man with the vision, and that's Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. As you know, he's the Speaker of the Ninth House of Representatives, and he's also the Chief of Staff of the President to the President. And for him, LMI is just, this pathway, this mentorship initiative that he knows will become, the biggest, the most remarkable in Africa. This is impact for him, and he's looking to build young people who have competence, who have character, who have ethics, who have resilience. And that's what he has been doing in the past 4 years. Of course, this is the 5th year, and that's what has been really about. This is the visionary leader, this is the founder, this is our founder, this is the man who has the dream. Admin, if you could help me mute Majida Ibrahim, would help the call.
Yourself.
Okay, I think we're good. Yes, so yeah. And of people clapping, because again, you should clap. You should really clap, because this is the man with the big dream. Thank you, Daddy. Please mute Daddy Ibrahim. Kindly mute your mic. Thank you for muting your mic. All right, we can go to the next slide. Thank you for the applause for our founder. He does deserve it. Next slide, please.
Can you see it?
Not yet. We're still on the founder slide. Okay, so from 2022, which is when LMI started, we've had 218 fellows, and of course every state is represented, as you know, including the FCT. And for cohort 1 we had about 74 fellows, cohort 2 we had like 45 fellows, cohort 3 and 4 had 50 fellows, and of course we are looking to have cohort 5. So this number, this 218, would increase, and then we know that it would continually increase. But again, think of this 218 people as a rich network of people working in different places. The LMI allows you to have contacts everywhere in Nigeria, because I mean, perhaps you're someone who is from Benue and you have never met someone who is maybe from Osun State. You would meet someone from that state when you're at LMI. You meet someone from every state. So you pretty much build rich connections across the city, because again, you would need a team of people to build whatever you want to build. You know, when you want to contest for office, these are the people that would stand by you. These are the people that would push you. These are the people that would, you know, really support you. So yes, we have a rich network, and that's why you're actually having this class today. Next slide, please, Admin. All right, so who is an LMI fellow? I think it's very important for us to, you know, just qualify a bit who an LMI fellow is. First of all, for you to be an LMI fellow, you need to be a very curious person, right? You need to be someone who is akin to learning. You need to have purpose, you know. Like I said before, LMI is looking for someone who is already in motion. You're already doing something, and so the extra push is taking you from point A to point B. You need to have the mindset of a leader, and we're not talking about someone who holds positions. We're talking about someone who understands what leadership is all about. We're talking about people who are leading at the grassroots level.
I say
Miss Aminat Lawal, can you kindly unmute your mic? Abolore Aminat Lawal, can you kindly mute your mic, please? Thank you. I think we should have some ground rules for the meeting. Kindly mute your mic so that you don't interrupt the meeting. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Sorry about that. We have ground rules already, and I think we would just start taking action when you unmute yourself, be it accidentally or however. I would remove you. Please, you can continue, ma'am.
All right, thank you for that, admin. All right, so yes, you should be a leader, and you should be leading, you know, at different levels, and this leadership is not even about title. And I know that of course we'll speak more about the essays, but yes, your essays would tell you, you know, what your leadership journey has been like. We're looking for people with ethics, people who have, you know, integrity, because that's what our nation needs. We need people who can lead with integrity, who can understand ethics. We want collaboration, and I kept talking about 218 people. I mean, a lot of us have collaborated with each other to do one project or another, and that's who an LMI fellow is. It's not about winning alone. It's about realizing that teamwork is dream work. We need people who are impact oriented. And so even with your essays, we want to see, are you trying to be an LMI fellow only about yourself? Because I mean, it's so cool. I mean, it's cool to say I'm an LMI fellow, but beyond that, what do you see that this fellowship will result in? What level of impact would this fellowship help you achieve? And I mean, that's what you should be thinking about. So if you think you're not ethical, if you don't think you want to collaborate, you want to run really fast and you want to go alone, maybe this is not the platform for you. The next slide, please. Great. Now, so the LMI model is simple. We want to discover young talent. We want to build them, develop them. We want them to build competence. We want to connect them with other leaders. So you should understand mentorship as something, you know. Mentorship is not only when people who have gone ahead of you are mentoring you. You can have peer-to-peer mentorship. And so even at LMI level, of course, you're going to meet amazing leaders. In the course of my presentation, you saw a picture with the Vice President of Nigeria. So yes, you will meet leaders who have gone ahead of you, but there's also peer-to-peer mentorship. So you would learn from people your age who have done things that you want to do or who are currently doing what you want to do. And the thing is, we stay connected to you, right? So you after the fellowship, the big question is what next? You go ahead to do what you're already doing with the new knowledge, with the new network that you have, and we connect you to long life bonds. I don't want to talk too much about that. Maybe admin will tease me a bit about what we mean by we connect you to lifelong ties. But yes, you meet friends, you meet family. Yes, you meet family too. And then of course the aim is to create social impact. The aim is to create social impact ultimately. Next slide, please. So of course we have 3 weeks. In these 3 weeks, you would have a lot of lectures. Don't think that the LMI is a vacation where you're going to be tired. You'll be stretched thin. You will have lectures on lectures. You would have group assignments. You will have individual assignments. You'll be tested. Everyone is watching. We're looking we're looking at your growth. In 3 weeks, indeed, you will grow, you will change. You have over 100 facilitators, different people. It is intensive. It is intensive. A couple of people sometimes, fall under the weather because of how intense the training is. We're thinking about you, your physical well-being. You're waking up early morning to exercising, and then you're going for early morning lectures. And then we're seeing how disciplined you are with time management. And we're seeing how you're collaborating with other people to achieve group assignments. It's a lot. So yes, it's not a vacation. It's a boot camp that is about to transform you from one point to another. Next slide, please. All right, so just a few things about what you would actually learn at the LMI fellowship. You learn about legislative processes. Ethical leadership is something that would definitely, be spoken about. You learn about social cohesion. This is very important. I'm happy that Eluka spoke about, what his experience was like as a person with disability, because again, social cohesion is the fact that you would learn, you're going to meet everyone from every part of Nigeria. And so there's no place for social intolerance. You can't begin to say, oh no, I don't tolerate this. Or you can't begin to say, oh no, this person, I can't speak with this person. That's not even the place for it. LMI is about social cohesion, about recognizing differences and respecting people's differences regardless. You would have different opinions even when you're executing your group assignments, when you're doing your presentations. But again, in all of those differences, we want to see togetherness. You would learn about policy and administration. You will learn a lot about diplomacy. And like you heard, he mentioned that we had the opportunity to even visit, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You will learn about civic accountability. You'll meet a couple of, legislators, politicians who will share their stories with you. So yes, you will learn a lot. This is just a little of what you'll learn. I just thought to throw that in so you know what you're expecting. And you tell yourself, this is what I really want to learn or not. Of course, beyond the classroom, I've already spoken about mentorship. There's legislative exposure. There's the internship placements that, can happen even after the fellowship. There's peer-to-peer networking, and I spoke about that already. There's policy engagement, and then there's alumni connections. The exposure turns, your learning into professional possibilities, and it's a great, great thing. And I decided to just throw that picture in so that you see that there's a lot that happens even outside the classroom. So next slide, please. All right, so who are the people that you're actually going to meet? I know I've been saying that, oh, you're going to have a network of people, but it's everyone really. You're going to meet engineers, lawyers, doctors, educators, organizers, politicians, administrators, just everyone and everyone really indeed. So there's no one saying, oh, I'm in the agriculture sector and I cannot apply. During my cohort, we had a beekeeper, shout out to Habibat, and she was present in my cohort. We had people who were writers, we had poets, shout out to my great friend, Honorable Ali. So I'm saying that you are meeting everyone in different sectors, such that after you leave LMI, if you really want to do something, if you make 2 or 3 calls, you will find someone in the alumni that does what you are doing or what you want to do. So, across sectors, you would meet people, but one common goal that you will share is that you have a commitment to people, a commitment to community, and a commitment to public service. So, next slide, please. All right, so of course I spoke about placements, and I'm happy to say that amongst LMI fellows, after the fellowship, we'll have people working in the State House, we have people working in the National Assembly, a lot of legislative aides working with the Office of the Speaker, we have people working in the Foreign Affairs under the Technical Aid Corps outside Nigeria, we have people working in policy think tanks, civil society, we have We have fellows spread across just anywhere. Think about it. In the state government, we have fellows who have contested for office and have run for office and have won. You know, so we are happy to say that LMI doesn't just end after those 3 weeks. There's a lot, and we're proud of what our fellows have achieved. I mean, I see the applause. I'm sure you want to be, you know, a member of that kind of rich network. So yes, our fellows are doing amazing things in the public sector. Next slide, please. All right, so what are we looking for? I may have hinted this, but I thought to just say it out clearly. Leadership potential. What are you already doing? If you're not doing anything, perhaps this is not the platform for you. Perhaps you should start doing something so that the next time this call is made, your essays can show what you're doing, but you need to be doing something. We need to see that you are indeed interested in public service, that you understand what democracy and democratic governance is about, that you understand professionalism. And with every question, some of these things I'm highlighting on would be answered by your questions, either your video or your CV or your essay. These questions will be answered. We want to see that you understand what collaboration is about. Of course, we want to know that you are committed for the next 3 weeks. So during the fellowship, it's residential. You will not be saying, oh no, I need to go and clear my container. You have to be around for those 3 weeks. So are you able to commit to it? Are you prepared to contribute to it? You know, and that's what we're looking out for. So if we see that you're not able to be available for 3 weeks and your container has to be cleared, perhaps that's also not what you want to apply for, which is why there are a few things we look out for, which is why we're also very weary about students who are perhaps going to be having to write exams, because again, we do not want to disrupt their natural flow, but we want to see that you are able to commit to these 3 weeks. It's not just about politics. We are looking for community leaders, you know, people who belong. We're looking for people who have influence. We want, in your essays, show that you are able to pull a group of people, that you're able to influence decisions, that you're able to move change, and that when our hands touch you, we can really push you from point A to point B. Again, you have to be doing something. All right, the next slide, please. So this is the eligibility criteria. It's already on the website. So I think that a lot of you have already seen it. If you're applying through the website, you need to be a Nigerian, 21 to 35 years. You need to, you know, understand that this is a very competitive merit-based selection. Let me tell you something. Last year we had over 7,000 applications and we only had 50 fellows. Think about the numbers. Let it sit. Let those numbers sit. And so sometimes I meet people who say, I applied the first year. It's competitive. You know, there are so many amazing people from Ekiti State and they're all applying. There's so many great intellectual people from Kaduna State and they're all applying. And so when the readers read it, they're like, who is the best person to pick? And it just has to be one at least from every state. Know that the competition is massive, so make your application really convincing. So please, it is competitive, but it is merit-based, very much so. You also need to demonstrate leadership, I've said that, and commitment to full fellowship, I've already said that. But again, if last year, in fact, over the years, we have continually had increase in the application. So I am certain that this year is going to be over 7,000. I'm glad I applied when I applied. I wish you all the best. Next slide, please. All right, so again, pretty much the process, which is, you know, you need to confirm your eligibility. You apply through the website. I believe anyone on this call already knows the website, but I decided to put it on my own presentation. Please make sure you upload the documents. Upload them the way you have been asked to upload it, please. Because again, we want to see that you understand the instructions and you're able to follow through. Respond. Written videos, make your videos really good. Let's not be struggling to hear what you're saying in your video. Don't shoot your video in the football field, not in the market. Be intentional about your video. Don't shoot your video while you're wearing a singlet. You don't respect the people that will be watching the video. Just be intentional. And of course, there will be the selection. And once you're selected, you'll get notified. And there are some questions that may not be answered on this call. But when you're selected, you will get every information you want. You would hear it, when you should come, when the fellowship is starting, how you should leave wherever you are to come to where the fellowship will hold. All of this will be things that will be answered. Once you become a participants and you get selected, you get all the information. Next slide, please. All right, so let's say this. You need to prepare, submit, and step forward. The LMI fellowship is a big one. Everyone will not get in. Some people will get in. I think at this point, it's important to say that if you do not get in this year, of course, you can try again if you're not over 35 by next year. But do not let one application invalidate your leadership journey. One application should not invalidate your leadership journey. You need to keep moving, which is why I said prepare, submit, and continue. Step forward, continue moving. Whether it's your CV, your written responses, your video submission, your supporting documents, take time. Shout out to the alumni and every organizer of this meeting because they made sure the meeting came in early. We opened the application Thursday, and within a week, they tried to put this together so that you have enough time. So you have at least 2 weeks before the application closes. Apply. Of course, 3rd of September, the pipeline is open. Are you ready to step into it? Everything has been said. Do you think you're that leader that we're looking for? We're on the other end. Convince us. Do your applications. Remember that whatever happens, whatever kind of mail you get after the application process, it does not invalidate that. You, my dear friend, are a leader and you must continue in your path. Again, LMI is not for everyone. Some people will get in, sometimes on their first try, sometimes on their third or their fourth try. Whether or not you eventually become a fellow, you are a leader. Nation building is indeed a joint start. Continue to do the work that you're doing. I wish you the best. God bless you. Thank you. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you again to the alumni for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Honorable Veronica, and everyone who has organized this. Much appreciations. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for a lovely presentation.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Really appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Moving
Thank you
on.
very much.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So you can show your appreciation with the emojis while we continue. Thank you. All right. Moving on, if for all this while you have not started writing or taking notes, I think this is the best time. So I would be introducing the next speaker that would be talking to us about how we're going to handle our application in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Honorable Fahad Longman is a LMI fellow, cohort 2. Will be talking to us about motivation, career vision, and leadership. So without much ado, I would like to introduce Honorable Fahad Longman. Please, if you're here, you can just go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you, Honorable Plangnan. It's my pleasure to be with you. Good evening, everyone. I think I'm tricked because speaking immediately after Madam Coordinator, it's like I should just shut down this meeting and then go and sleep because she has already spoken everything that needs to be spoken. The motivation has been there. She has been motivating us from the beginning of her conversation to where she ended. So thank you, Madam Coordinator, for laying that foundation for us to continue from there. Thank you to the LMI alumni leadership for organizing this very important application masterclass for our prospective applicants. At some points, we are all in a room like this, trying to learn from those that have passed the route that we are planning to follow, and with dedication and God's help, we have reached where we are today, and we have decided to give back to the community, to those that are looking up to us, to those that are trying to follow the track. So, if you have studied the LMI application process, I'm sure you have already understood where you are headed, because the application is divided into different segments. Most important ones are the EC parts. If you look at the EC parts, you will see different questions. I think about 5 or 6 questions, from motivation question, leadership question, to some policy scenario questions. These questions are not designed just for you to give a random story. They are designed so that the reviewers and LMI would be able to understand which personality, who are you, and why do you plan to apply, or why are you applying for LMI. As we've all heard from the previous speakers, foundation has been laid, and I would be guiding us through the first 2 questions of the application.
Honorable Fahad, are you still speaking? Because I can't hear you.
And these questions are motivation and career.
Yes, it's still breaking, but yeah, you can go on.
I think a call just came into my phone. That's why. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I was just saying, the first 2 questions, I will be guiding us through the first 2 questions, and these questions are focused on motivation and career vision, and also leadership experience. This is the first AC that will guide you through the application, or that would guide the reviewer of whom the person you are. And this is where you can decide to give a very good first impression, whether you are somebody that the reviewer would continue reading their application, or by reading the first essay, they would lose interest and probably decide that I don't think this person is the kind of person that we are looking for at LMI. And that could be a problem to you for your application, and it could be it is discouraged to the reviewer, which would be the person that would decide whether you would scale through to the next stage or not. So it is very important that we, a prospective applicant, pay very close attention to this question. If you look at the question, it states that tell us about your motivation for applying and how it aligns with your career, with your long-term career vision. This is like 2 questions tied together. I think the first thing as a prospective applicant you should do is to decode this question. Understand what the question means. What is the question asking you? The question is asking you about why are you applying for this program? Who are you? And what have you done before now? And where do you think, or where are you planning to head after LMI? Because it states motivation and long-term career vision. So one thing I can advise, or I will advise prospective applicant, is you need to understand that LMI is a bridge. You have a life before LMI, and you will have a life after LMI. So consider this program as a bridge. So for you to climb a bridge, you will definitely, if you are driving, you are definitely your car, if it's an automatic transmission, it would it would reduce to probably gear 1, so that it would have a very strong, the engine would be at a very strong distance, so that it will be able to climb up that bridge. So, what are you supposed to do? Can the person kindly mute their phone?
Please, who is a person?
Multi-problems. And you know,
Okay,
Please,
so
check.
all right, please kindly check so that we can mute so that other.
You can continue. Honorable Fahad, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Probably it's on. I think we were muted, right? Okay. All right. All right. So one thing we should do is we need to identify these questions. What genuinely motivates you? What experience shaped that motivation? And where are you going? And why does LMI matter to that journey? So this is a question that you need to sit carefully, understand yourself, because you are going to tell a story. And that story is what will open a door for you. If that story doesn't align with the vision and objective of LMI, definitely you are likely not going to pass through that door. So you need to understand your personality, you need to understand your track, you need to understand what among all the experiences, among all what you have done before, why do you think you need to join or you need to be part of this LMI? If you are able to join LMI, what are you looking for in LMI? And at the same time, where do you see yourself and how do you think that relationship that you are going to build and the community that you are going to join and the experience that you will learn through the program, how would that experience help you to pass through or to scale through and be able to achieve your career goals? So this is what is expected of you. I decided not to give any example because I want all prospective applicants to be able to think deeply. One thing I would advise is, nowadays I realize that based on reviewing many applications, applicants are used to generating AI responses to respond to essay questions in applications for scholarships, fellowships, professional programs like this. And I am telling you that that is affecting your cognitive, it's affecting your brain, it's affecting your intellectualism, and it's definitely, you might pass through, maybe if the application process is not really strong or they tend to look away. But for applications like LMI, I'm assuring you that you shouldn't even try to use AI to generate your responses. One thing is, nobody can tell your story, not even an artificial intelligence can tell your story the way you will tell that story, because you know yourself more than any other person in the world. So have a clear motivation. This motivation, make sure that your motivation connects with your career aspiration, because LMI doesn't want to admit a fellow who doesn't know where they are going after their fellowship. They want somebody who already is doing something and is looking for LMI so that they could have a bridge, build probably a relationship, have some knowledge that will guide them and assist them in scaling through to their next career goal. So have your experience ready, your motivation, your career direction, and connect it with LMI role. I think with this, you will be able to scale through and give a compelling story of motivation and career vision. So, question number 2, leadership experience. It states, describe a specific situation where you demonstrated leadership, the challenge, the action you took, and the outcome. In question 1, we have already heard about your motivation, why you are the best candidate to be selected into the LMI fellowship, while clearly stating your career, long-term career vision. Now, we have had you have gone through this, you are this, you want to join this because you want to learn about leadership, public service, you are this person and that person, and you are planning to do this immediately after you are already doing something, and through LMI you will build up and continue doing what you are doing. Question 2 is asking you that, in addition to what Madam Coordinator highlighted, that you have to be doing something. And this question would confirm whether you are genuinely doing something or you are not. Because the question is asking of a situation where you have encountered a challenge and you have acted, and your action yielded a positive result. And probably that result is measurable result. So you are not being asked to write your CV that you have done this community service, you have done this, you have held this position or that position, you have volunteered this and that. No, that is not what you are asked to do. This is where you are going to sell yourself. This is where you are going to tell a compelling story. Instead of highlighting different roles, you have held this position, through this position, you have solved this problem, and this problem yielded this result, I think the best approach that you can have is focus on one specific situation. Sit down, analyze your previous experiences, leadership experiences, and choose the best amongst them. If you decide to give multiple stories, you are going to lose track. And don't forget, you only have 300 words maximum. So you cannot, I don't think you can go deeper in highlighting or discussing about a situation more than one situation within 300 words limit. So I would advise applicants to focus on one strong and compelling situation where you have identified a challenge, you have acted, and that action yields to a positive result. One story, compelling story. So this is where I think we need to understand from the question. You are asked to do 3 things: challenge, action, outcome. Challenge, action, outcome. Of course, you have to lay a background which will contain your challenge. But do not focus or do not spend so much time in explaining the problem or in highlighting the problem. The reviewers are not looking for the challenge or the problem that you have encountered. What they are looking at is, what action did you provided? What did you do? And that is where within the three segments, that is where you should give so much focus, and you should go deeply in explaining specific actions that you have done. It might be a group work, it might be a community service, it might be a volunteer, which definitely and obviously you are not the only person that contributed or that participated in solving that challenge. But as an individual, as a leader, what specifically and individually you have contributed. Applicants tend to focus sometimes on generalizing, giving generic responses that we have done this, we have done that, we have identified a water scarcity in this environment, and our organization, as a member of the organization, we have went to identify, to probably meet with the stakeholders. Through the stakeholders, we have identified that they require borehole, and we have sourced for the funding, we have done. You are focusing on we. And this application is not for we, it's for you. So I, as an individual, what did you do? How did you prove your leadership ability within that group? What specific actions, individual actions you have provided within that group? So this is one thing that will make the reviewer to understand that, oh, this person knows what he's doing, and he didn't just participated in the group work, and probably at the end he took a credit of people, his team members. Rather, he has something, he had provided support, he had coordinated, he has led, he has engaged, he has this, he has that as an individual. So after you have explained the specific actions that you have provided, the last thing that you are required to provide is the outcome. What was the result of your action? There was a challenge, you have acted. Now, what did your action resulted to? Okay, you have provided a borehole, and that borehole helped a community of probably 100 people, including women and children, and it helps them to have a clean water which they are using for their daily lives activities. Something very important, which is data, numbers. My speaker, Bernice, spoke about data. Numbers are very important. You cannot define something without explaining the impact, measurable impact that a result produced. So if there were numbers or percentage in the action that you have made that resulted an outcome, what are those numbers? Be specific. And I keep repeating this, let it be measurable, let it be realistic. Do not give an overestimated or numbers that are not legitimate, numbers that by reading we will understand, or we will know that no, this is fiction, or this is fake. This guy just wants us to believe that he has done this, while from the story we can confirm that this is false information. So be specific, be authentic, be evident, provide evidence-based impact, reflect, and also your story, your ideas should be clear. So to sum it up, your motivation question is your starter question. This is where you are expected to sell yourself. This is where the reviewer is expected to understand, why are you even applying for this? Who are you? What have you done? And where do you see yourself after the LMI? And how do you think LMI will assist you in achieving your career objectives and your career vision? Question 2, leadership experience, is asking you about your leadership experience. Note that do not focus on giving multiple examples of leadership experience. Focus on a single, strong, compelling story that has contained, that has a clear challenge, clear action, and measurable impact and outcome. That way, your story will be aligned. So, to conclude this, I would like to re-emphasize and also advise the applicants to calm yourself down. This might be the first time you're applying for something like this. It's not easy. Thousands of applicants are applying or will apply, and only few will be selected. Personal experience. LMI, of course, I got in at the first trial. There are other programs that I've participated and I've attended, which I didn't get in at first trial. I didn't get in at second trial. I didn't get in at third trial. I got in at fourth trial. So just because you didn't get in at the first time doesn't mean you are useless, doesn't mean you don't know what you are doing, doesn't mean you are not on the right track. It means you need to re-strategize. You need to look back at your previous application and plan and improve where you are. Sometimes your previous applications, if you went back and look at them, you will realize that even if you are the person scoring that application, you won't score yourself above average, which is human nature. If you write something today and you come back to it tomorrow, you will definitely see something that I think I can do better than this. I can improve on this. So while you are listening about a guide on how to write your motivation, I am also motivating you to be strong, to be real, and to sell yourself in a very good way that whoever is going to read about you will know that this person is the kind of person LMI is looking at. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Fahad. Aha, you can do better than that. The round of aha, that's the spirit. Thank you so much. All right. So moving on, like I told you, we're not going to waste any minutes. I'll be introducing the second speaker. Please, speakers, I know you have a lot to tell our prospective fellows, but I will be giving you just 10 to 12 minutes. Pata 15 minutes. Let's not exceed the time, please, because it's already 7 minutes past 10, and we're going to have question and answer sessions because I've been seeing so many hands up. So please, let's stick to the time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that very, very insightful session. Myself, personally, I've learned a lot. So the next person, Honorable Great Owete, is the LMI Fellow, 4th Cohort. He will be talking to us on public leadership scenario. It's all part of the LMI application. I'm sure if you had gone through the application, you would see all of these scenarios and all of these essays that is required for you to write. So this is the second essay. So talking about public leadership scenario and scenario governance and public policy analysis. Honorable Great Owete, the floor is yours, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Perfect.
yes.
All right. Thank
Yes,
you.
good evening. We're hearing.
Thank you for having me. Right. I'm going to do this very quick because Honorable Fahad has made my job quite easier. And so I just trying to give you a perspective of what the scenario-based questions look like and how you can go around the scenario-based questions. If you have taken a look at the application, right? I mean, the application question, you realize that you have motivation, you have essay, then you have a scenario-based question, which is the public leadership scenario, governance and public policy analysis question. So that scenario question, first off, gives you an idea of the kind of people that LMI is looking for. So if you look at that question, you just have a sense that LMI is actually looking for people who, in some way, already see themselves as leaders in some words, right? And not somebody who is just trying to apply for application's sake. So they want you to already picture yourself as a leader. We want you to picture yourself as a leader and tell us what you are going to do if you are in that scenario. So scenario-based question in that sense gives you an idea of what we are looking for. Also, scenario-based question sort of like, I think that also helps you acknowledge the reality of the Nigerian political space, right? In the policy space, in the public leadership space, you are mostly going to be dealing with issues around policy alternatives. You'll be dealing with issues around principles, competing interests, stakeholders, how you're going to manage stakeholders. So we want to see your thought process. The question would help you review your thought process. There are no perfect questions, and there are no perfect answers, right? So you have that scenario question, and we are expecting, or the question expects you to the question expects you to tell us what you are going to do in that scenario, right? And so what the question is helping to do is to assess your judgments, your ethical reasoning, your leadership ability, and then your ability to reason through what you are going to do when you experience conflict of interest, right? So in answering that kind of question, think about your principles, and even though your principles are fixed, you can't just say you are going to do X when you are in that scenario, because this is your principle. You're just going to do X, right? Or you do Y. You also have to think of the consequence of your decisions. If you say you are going to do X, what are the consequences? How are you going to align them? What are the alternatives? You think about the alternatives and be able to, share, your thought process around that. And then when you think about alternatives, you should be able to explain if your alternatives are going to go this way or adopted. If your alternatives will be adopted, can you isolate both issues and find a way, around that? So my recommendation would be that you should think through the process, and it's because it's scenario based question, right? You want to play around being being very firm, yet also being very flexible around the policy alternatives, right? So you are going to have situations where you are talking about your principles and also the conflicting interests or competing interests, right? So it's a scenario-based question. This is what I'm going to advise on this. Don't allow the question force you into thinking that there are only two options, right? It's that you do X or you do Y, right? But put yourself you don't have to give political answer. Put yourself in a shoe where you are faced with this kind of scenario, and then you have to find a way to go around it, right? So that would be my advice. For the sake of for the essay, I think this essay, when I was applying, was my favorite question. And the reason was because before I applied, I already had like a document of my manifesto for the office I was preparing myself for. And so when I saw that question, I think the hardest part of answering that question for me was my ability to bring all of those things into 300 words, because you have a lot, right? If you are somebody who have been preparing for public service, you probably have, like me, have a manifesto and your most difficult task is how do you bring this manifesto into 300 words. And so when I look at this kind of question, your essay question, I think LMI is looking for three things from my understanding. Number one is, what is your understanding of the problem, right? What is your understanding of the problem? That's the first thing I think of. So the essay question, for example, is saying analyze a governance or public policy issue that matters to you and how you would address it. And you have a minimum of 300 words, right? So for me, when I look at that question, I want to see how how you understand the problem. So when you say this is a policy issue, right? Anybody can claim that they know the problems in Nigeria, right? I mean, anybody in beer parlor, anybody around the street can talk about, the various problems in Nigeria. But for you, you would have to take it a notch higher. Understanding that you understand that problem, you should be able to clearly define what the problem is. Don't just say, oh, youth unemployment is a big problem in Nigeria. What exactly is the problem? Youth unemployment sounds very vague and big. Can you narrow it down a bit more? Can you provide context and evidence, to that thing that you say is a big problem that you really want to solve or you are passionate about? So I like you to understand the problem very well. So that's the first way to approach that kind of question. Clearly state the problem and focus on analysis. That's the second thing. Focus on clear analysis. Go beyond the surface, right? It would help you. It would also help if you have done some form of primary data gathering, from your own constituency. So you are speaking to real life scenarios. You are speaking to things that you have done, or data that you have gathered or evidence that you have gathered. Think of how the policy, think of how your solutions will be implemented. So don't just say, I think that government should do X and Y, or government should do this. For me, that's not the language of somebody who says he or she is a policymaker, right? Because nobody is government in that scenario. You are government. So zero in on specifics, right? Focus on analysis. Your solutions should be well defined. Who should do what? What should be done? How will it be done? Who would be the primary beneficiary or the target audience? How will it be measured to know that this your solution, if it's adopted, works, right? So you need to think of all of these things. And then I think that the most difficult task is putting all of these things in 300 words. And so you want to go straight to the point, right? So when you are defining the problem, make it very specific, context, provide evidence, and then focus on analysis on the solutions, right? And be specific around the solutions or the policy alternatives and options that you are proposing. Maybe I should wrap this up with this. If you want to answer this question correctly, let me sort of give you some questions you should ask yourself and you should focus on, like a framework. First, what is the problem? So I said provide evidence, provide data to that problem, narrow it down. Don't just say youth employment, narrow it down. What exactly is the problem in your context, in your constituency? You may want to use your local government as an example and then provide some data. If you have gathered primary data, quite all right? Provide those data. Second is, why is this a problem for you? Why is it happening? Why does it matter to you? Right? And why do you want to focus on solving this problem? The third is, what should be done differently? There are many, especially in the public policy space. That's why it's called public policy. There are always options and alternatives. You cannot talk about every option and every alternative. So I'd rather that you pick one, because you have 300 words. You are restricted to 300 words. So just pick one of the policy solution that you really want to focus on, and then talk about the expected outcome if this option, is chosen, how it will be measured, right? So I think if you do all of these things, it would help you. This framework will help you really just provide, a good and robust answer to the scenario-based question and the essay. I'll stop here. That would be it for me.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Great. We really, really appreciate this powerful session. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to the next speaker, Honorable Deborah Dean Ikriko. Like I said earlier, please, we shouldn't, I know this is very important. Everything the facilitators have in mind to say is very important, but then we are running out of time. So Honorable Deborah, you will have to forgive me, but you have 8 minutes to bring your points home. So the floor is yours. Thank you so much. She is a fellow of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. My cohort 3. So trust me, you need to take every word she says very serious. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Please confirm that you can hear me.
Good evening, Maria.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I'll go straight to the point and I'll be discussing ethical leadership, diversity, and inclusion. So I'm sure we've gone through the questions from the LMI portal, but I'll still be reading it again. The scenario given states that imagine you discover that resources intended for a public program are being diverted for personal or political gain. Reporting the issue could affect your career prospects. What would you do and why? And it's a maximum of 300 words. Now, we want you to have an understanding of what ethical leadership is all about. And we want you to understand that it is also is you navigating difficult situations where the right choice might not be the easy one. And to answer this question, we want you to demonstrate four values which also governs LMI. That is integrity, courage, accountability, and then sound judgment. We want you to show us how you intend to report. If you are reporting the issue at hand, how do you intend to report it? What kind of reporting mechanism do you want to use? Do you want to go through the whistleblowing mechanism? Do you want to go through the suspicious activities reporting mechanism? Internal audit? Tell us how you intend to report the scenario and why you chose that method that you are reporting. We also want you to consider the importance of evidence. You are not just going to report because you heard that, oh, this person is about to steal government money. Then you just go to the news or go to NTA or news and then you discuss it. No, you tell us why you are reporting what you reported and how you intend to do it. Having your evidence, documentary evidence, is it electronic generated evidence? We need your evidence to back up your claim. And then you also need to show us accountability by taking ownership of your actions. We need to know that you have thought about the consequences of your action, or this is going to affect your career, and you thought about how it's also for the good of the nation to also hold our fellow leaders accountable. And then you are making a sound judgment by reporting how you intend to report. Please, we also want you to be tactical. Like the speaker before me has said, Honorable Grace, that you must not actually choose from the options that are placed before you. But what we want to see is how you are tactical, how you can provide a long-lasting solution. And then I move on to the second thing, which is diversity and inclusion. We want you to share a genuine experience of how you have shown diversity and inclusion in your leadership roles. We don't want you to just say that, oh, I value diversity, I'm a very inclusive leader. Task, action, and results. Now, for example, I'll give you an instance on how to use that. I got into LMI as a teacher, so I will use my teaching role as an example. So for the situation, you are going to tell us that, oh, as a teacher in an underserved community, the task, I discovered that Yes, sound judgment. I discovered that learners were one of the problems I had as a teacher was that we had some slow learners, and that was due to the fact that some were not reading or the method I was using to teach was not even working for them. And then we also had the one that maybe due to child hunger, children were not eating well before coming to school, so there was no way they could hear me. My action there was, I partnered with some teachers to actually feed children every day in school so that they could understand and flow with the class better. Then for learners that I understood that, their ability to learn was not the regular, you write notes on the board, you dictate the notes. or you sit with them. I had to include extracurricular activities from the classes. I had to introduce quizzes. I had to introduce spelling bees. I had to even go as far as introducing art work, like art classrooms. Like after the class, okay, draw your imagination. You see them, they are more relaxed, and then they can hear what you have to say. So that's the action part. And then results. What did this, my actions, the steps that I took, what did it help me achieve? And then that's where your results comes in. So we want you to show your genuine experience using this STAR approach. That will actually help you to, just write your essays within 300 words. Really don't want you to just state this as only diversity and give us sentences or three sentences and you're done. We want you to share your experience. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this helps. Thank you.
Yay, thank you so much, Honorable Deborah. Please, can you turn on your video a little bit for 1 second? Okay, so how many of you noticed something? Honorable Deborah is wearing the LMI shirt. Trust me, just like the NYC khaki, not everyone has this shirt that she's wearing. So you have to be a fellow to have something like this. So that's Honorable Deborah's own, and it's so beautiful. Thank you so much for wearing that. And we are hoping some of you here will get to have that shirt too. Yeah, when you become a fellow. All right, thank you so much. Moving on, we are going to the last but not the least speaker. Is my leader, Honorable Kolapo Imam. Honorable Kolapo is a fellow of the inaugural cohort, Cohort 1. He will be speaking to us on LMI experience video submission and CV clinic. He will be taking us on how to make your CV work for you. All right, Honorable Kolapo Imam, the floor is yours, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone from where you're joining. My name is Kolako Imam. Just like I was introduced, and I think this is the actual masterclass. So I'll be sharing my slides shortly, and I would love for everyone to please pay very rapt attention. And then, of course, I'll take notes if you must, and drop your questions right after the presentation. I'll try to stick to 10 minutes maximum. So the time starts now, and thank you so much for having me. So I'll share my screen shortly. 1 minute. Okay.
Sorry, it went silent.
Yes, I'm trying to bring up my screen, trying to share my slide. Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, we
Yes,
can.
loud
Thank
and
you.
clear, sir.
Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, can anyone see my screen now? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so
We
my name
can.
is Kolako Imam. Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is Kolako Imam. I'm a fellow of the inaugural cohort. So special thanks to the alumni for putting this together. And I think Dr. Kuti has done so much presentation earlier, so I'll just try and go straight to the point. For the inaugural cohort, just to share a bit of my experience. So we were the only cohort that had five weeks. So I can say some of my cohort members on there as well. So we had 5 weeks during our fellowship because we were actually, we are that special, even till now. I know the rest of the cohort can also agree. So we're very special. And then we stayed 5 weeks. And interestingly, for my video submission, I actually shot my video once, and I think that's why I'm probably in the best position to talk to you about your video as well. So let's get right into it. About LMI, they've tried and explained to us earlier about LMI. It's a very interesting program. It doesn't affect whatever leadership pursuit you have or goals you have. It's very valid for public service, private professionals, entrepreneurs. You can absolutely benefit from LMI, and you should, of course, try to get in. So, yeah, briefly, I'm into technology currently. I do consulting, I do teaching, I do a couple of amazing stuff, but let's get right into what we're trying to achieve. So for the video submission, it's one of the compulsory part of the application for LMI, and there are strict rules around the video submission. The first part, which is the most interesting, is that your video must not exceed 60 seconds. And that's where most people have challenges. The video must not exceed 60 seconds. So this is not like your regular get ready with me or any other type of content that you probably create on TikTok already. This is a very serious video. Just like the coordinator mentioned earlier, the last cohort, I think they said they had about 7,000 applications, and I can tell you for a fact this time around they probably get over 10,000 applications. It gets difficult almost every year. Not like get difficult, but then it gets more competitive. Let me put it that way. Almost every year. So you have to be very, very intentional about your video. So the video is not something you create inside a moving bus or something you create inside your class or just anyhow. But we'll get right into it. And then the prompt around the video, they would ask you one public problem you're passionate about and the role young leaders can play in solving it. So I'm going to give you the actual acts that you need to record that video. I hope the coordinator will not penalize me for this. But I strongly believe after this video, many of you would actually get in. If you follow all of the things I want to share with you, both the video and your CV, you would absolutely get in. And I can say that for a fact. So maximum file size is 25 MB. So if you record with your iPhone or any other IED devices, what you should try and do is you should compress your video before you submit it, right? So it's probably going to be much higher. It depends. Even if you're using 4K, it shouldn't be that high. It shouldn't be too much, of a size. But then if the size exceeds 25 MB, you can compress it before you submit. And of course, there are the regular video formats that they support. I would advise you to stick to MP4. And that is because you'd also make it for your reviewers to be able to view your videos easily and then create your submission. So again, this is not a video production competition. They just want to see you communicate, your passion and what you've been up to lately. So this is how you should structure your videos. I will try and upload these online and share with the alumni so they'll find a way to get it across to you over the internet. So you can always go back to this and try to work on your application before the September, I think, 3rd deadline. So you have 60 seconds, and this is how I would advise you structure your video. 0 to 15 seconds is where you talk about the problem. Very brief, straight to the point. This LMI video is not the place where you introduce yourself. That is what your CV and other complementary submissions are going to do for you. So don't jump on the screen and start to saying, my name is Honorable Kola. You're not even there's nothing honorable about you wasting your time in front of the camera, right? And just to point out something very funny. If you can see the way I'm looking now, you can see there's a green cap and then I'm wearing a different color of clothing, kaftan. If you want to record your video, please don't do something like this, right? You also want to make it easy you want to impress your reviewer, right? Something as small as the appearance might turn them off. So you should try and invest in it. So don't dress the way I'm dressed. If you are putting on something like this, find a complimentary cap or just open your hair. That's just by the way. So the 15 and 40 seconds, you should talk about your understanding of the problem. I think it was, I'm trying to remember, someone just shared, I can't recall, but I know someone shared experience now about education within that space. So you should talk about a cause or impact that you have good context about. It will make your conversation free-flowing and you not stutter, you not be looking around for inspiration because it's something that you're actually doing and something that you're used to. Next, you want to do is for the last 40 to 60 seconds, you want to talk about the roles of the youth in solving that problem. Is that clear? So that is how you structure your video. Now, let's go right into your video. You see, when your reviewers open your video, they need something that would interest them to watch the video, to complete watching the video. They have thousands, hundreds of videos to watch, and they open your video and it's good day or good afternoon. What if their day is not even good? They're saying good morning, and the next response from them is, okay, what is good about the morning? So don't just assume that they're reviewing in the morning, or they're reviewing in the evening, or they're even reviewing on planet Earth. What if your reviewers are somewhere in Venus or Saturn and they are getting your videos that they should review and saying good day from the great people of Kaduna? You know, there are great people in Kaduna. You don't have to tell us that, right? So you should think about it very well. What is that hook that if I say it, they would pause and plug in their earphone so that they want to listen in very well? And that is what hook is all about. I know many of us have seen marketing videos online. You know, some of those videos that trend very well on that goes viral on TikTok or other places, there's a hook, there's something that they say in the first 5 seconds that would make you pause and say, I must watch this video. Even if you are very busy, even if you want to eat your food, you hold the spoon like this, or you scoop your rice, and then you just hold it and say, let me watch this video before this rice goes into my mouth. So those are the type of hooks that you want to use to start your video. So things that works is number, for example. Number works very well. If you mention number, it will trigger them, it will make them curious that they want to watch your video. What do you have to say? If you can paint a scenario like a moment or a question or a contradiction, these are things that will interest the reviewer, and they will of course watch your video from A to Z. Are you following? Now, these are the do's and don'ts that you should also look at for in your video. I'm going to be very brief here, and I think the coordinator has done a great job in covering some of this. I think Honorable Fawad Nogman also spoke about this, and I think even the moderator touched a bit on this. Not too fast, please. I'm trying to be mindful of the time. Then you get the recording and also the slide. So those is you speak very clearly, confidently at a natural pace. So don't stress yourself, right? And that's because it's 60 seconds. You don't have to cram your entire script. You don't have to start speaking so fast because you want to cover so much. By the end of the day, when they watch your video, they will not make good sense of it. Also invest in clear audio devices if you can, right? If you don't have a microphone, try to record in a place with very minimal noise. Maintain eye contact with your camera, right? Maintain eye contact with your camera. Good lighting is also very, very amazing. You should try and, I have a hot take about this, and it's something that you would read on the application. They will say, oh, this is not a video competition. You don't have to invest. Trust me, if you have a home studio or you have a friend that has a studio, go to their studio and record the video. It doesn't stop you from doing anything. If you do not make it to LMI, you have it in your portfolio forever. And you know that this is quality video. I actually invested my energy into it. But then again, you actually make it because this is Cohort telling you how to submit your video. Is that clear? So if you want to use a script, memorize your script very well. You shouldn't be looking at your script when you're recording your video. That's not something that you want to do yourself, because think of the video as an interview. Your reviewers are looking at you and they're trying to get a sense of who you are and if you actually meant what you're saying. So imagine going for an interview and then they're asking you questions and you're punching it into ChatGPT and then you're reading it out to them. They just be laughing behind the screens like, okay, what's this about to? When you're done with your ChatGPT transcripting, you can just get the hell out from there. So you don't want to be that person that makes the reviewer crack their ribs. So some of the don'ts, of course, don't rush through your lines, don't rush through your ideas. Do not over edit your video or add unnecessary effects. Please do not add transitions to your video. Do not add transitions to your video. Like I said, when I applied for the inaugural cohort and I got in, obviously, my video was just shot once. Like I turned on my camera, I sat down in front of it and I answered the prompt and I submitted. No edit, nothing, other than the fact that I plugged in a microphone, and I think maybe the voice came out well. Maybe because I was also working on my desk, just like I am right now, so the lighting was not that bad. So again, it depends on how you want to do, but I would advise you invest a lot into your videos, please. Next slide is some of these phrases that you're seeing here. I know many of us are also familiar with them, right? If you copy the prompt, you copy your CV, your essay, and you put it into ChatGPT to give you a script, they would most of the AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, as many of them, Perplexity, they will come up with scripts that have some of these statements in them. And for the reality is that many of these things are actually filler words. They make absolutely no sense. If you're talking to your reviewer and they're saying, as we all know, The question is, okay, why are you telling me? As we all know, why are you telling me? They are telling them I'm a hardworking and team player. They can get that from your CV or from your essay. The video is something that they can possibly not see from your CV and your essay. That is the opportunity to show them who is truly behind all the. I'll get there, Jafar. I'll get there actually. Yes, you can do captioning. Who is truly behind all of these essay submissions and CV? That is what they want to look at. Again, let's not waste most of our time. Yeah. So also speak like a colleague. Be very conversational with your video so that they'll keep shaking their heads and keep following, and they would want to get to the end of the video. Even after they are done, they would watch it over again because they will also learn one or two from your presentation. So these are the things that you don't want to do to your reviewers, and you don't also want to do to yourself, because the videos they make great impression. If someone reviews a video, it's very likely that they might meet you one way or the other, because this world is a very small place, especially for those of us in Nigeria. It's a very small place. So you have to over impress in your video. I'm not one of the people that will say, oh, don't do too much. When it comes to LMI, you have to do too much, because people that get into LMI, they are not ordinary. They are extraordinary. And I can say that for a fact. For my cohort, I think there were about 73 of us then, and it was the most transformative experience of my adult life. Right. So many of the things that I know today, I will probably say thanks to LMI, because for that 5 weeks, I was actually staying with people that I've never met before. I learned a lot of things, and I even picked up sign language shortly after LMI. Thanks to Muhammad, one of our own courts, who was I think the deaf community manager in Niger State. Right. So there are lots of things that you benefit from LMI. So they don't want just any other guy in LMI. They want someone that is extraordinary, someone that is actually passionate about leadership. So things you don't want to do, don't film in a moving vehicle. I think the coordinator also mentioned this. If there's a window behind you, try and cover the window. For those of us that are familiar with content, if there's a window behind you, it's going to project some brightness into your camera, and then it makes you a silhouette. If you know what silhouette looks like, you don't want to be that silhouette, because they'll probably not see your face, and it just sound like one of those, there's this conversion videos that we see on YouTube when someone is saying bad things, and they'll turn their side to the camera and say, in 2019, I stabbed XYZ number of people. So you don't want to look like that person. It's not a documentary. Ceiling fan and generator. Yes, I know we're in Nigeria, so we have to put on our generator. Some of us, we still have to put on our fans. If you can, get some of those smaller fans, or just shoot when you can open your window and the gen is off. Reading eyes down, please. Don't read your paper. Don't read your script. I know some of us are very comfortable with using script, and LMI is not going to penalize you for that. Just make sure you master your script, memorize it as much as you can, and be very conversational with it. Beauty filters and effects. My sister, we know you're beautiful, but do not bring that Snapchat, all of those things to LMI, right? Keep the Snapchat filter on Snapchat. Keep the Instagram filter on Instagram. We don't want to see your your filter games or your sticker games or transitions. There are some transitions that wows you. I was watching a video, I think 2 days ago on Twitter, where someone, I think it's a chef, and there's this way that she cooks. She'll throw the yam, and the yam will start flying and start walking and start cutting themselves. Please don't bring those things to LMI, right? Just be very natural. Unmade bed in frame, running to 1 minute, 30 seconds. This is the killer for most people. You have a lot to share. And I think I'm reading comments by people that say, oh, their story is amazing. Trust me, yes, everyone has amazing story. We all have amazing things that we've done that we want to get across. Just stick to one. Which of them is the most impactful one? Which of them are you most proud of? Which of them do you want to be known for? Which of them do you think will get your leg into the LMI club? Those are the things that you should focus on. And yes, you can stick to 60 seconds. Recording on deadline day. Yes, this one, and I will tell you something for a fact. So my application I submitted on deadline day. Yes, I got in first cohort. I submitted on deadline day, but advised I do not record on deadline day. Please stay away from it. Sorry, 1 minute. So don't record on deadline day, because that'll give you enough time to share with your friends, get review, and fix whatever it is that you need to fix. Let me move very quickly. So this is now about your CV. Let's talk about your CV, right? So your CV, try to stick to 2 pages, maximum 3 pages. If you're a very big person, I think it was during my course, I met lots of amazing people. We had lecturers, university lecturers. We had the likes of Veronica, people that are doing amazing things. And trust me, if they want to write their CV, they can write 10, 15 pages. They can write even 20 pages. We have people that they've had publications in journals during my course. So be very careful to yourself. Stick to 2 pages, 3 pages. What is relevant to LMI from all of my experiences, my accomplishments, professional, personal, what it is that I can put forward for LMI that will make me seem like the best candidate to come on board. The front, copy of your CV should focus mainly on your profile. Don't tell us your some of those other details that people don't put on the TV that we don't want to see. I will give you a quick glance into how you should do that. So the CV you send for a job application is not what you use. Please don't be lazy about it. I know it's going to be very stressful, but don't send that CV that you sent for McKinsey or the Big Four or even the red tie people. Don't call me Tony. Don't send those CV here. You need to design a CV, specific for LMI, right? Now, the sections, right, in order. You want to do like a summary, very brief summary part. Then you want to focus on your educations because, of course, LMI, we love to see educated people, right? Your experience, specific experience that aligns with LMI. So one thing you should also do is this. If you're writing an essay about something you're doing in public leadership, make sure that the rest of your application is corroborating what it is in your essay. You are not writing an essay that you're a police officer, and then your CV is saying you're a vigilante, and then your video is saying you're a Boy Scout. Bro, just choose one lane. Who are you? So make sure that everything is speaking the same language, right? And so your awards, certifications, and skills, those are things that you want to put there. So when you want to translate your professional accomplishments, use wordings that qualify you very well, right? Accomplishments, numbers, figures, you want to see all of that, right? So that's it from me. Thank you so much, and have the best in your application. Good luck.
Thank you, Honorable Kolapo. Thank you so much. All right. We are moving to the Q&A session. First of all, before we move to that session, I would like to say thank you so much for sticking with us to this time. Trust me, you've already made an impression of you, a very good impression of yourself, right? We started with over 300 people. Not that I'm saying they're not serious, but I'm saying you are more serious than them. Yeah, so it shows intentionality. I mean, you don't get to do this forever. You just get to do this today, right? And you have distinguished yourself. And even in your application, you would further distinguish yourself. So that is the spirit of LMI. That's what LMI is looking for. People who would make decisions to be intentional about everything. So I think the summary of everything, what everyone is saying, is from the first essay you would write to the video to your CV to everything, the reviewer should be able to see that this person is intentional. This person really wants this thing, right? Because amidst thousands of applicants, I want this thing. Me, Bumojo Chubi, I want this thing. Me, Friday Oga, I want this thing. And I'm showing you with everything that I'm putting together that I really, really, really want this thing. So that's the only way you get selected. I mean, there is no magic. If there is no magic, you have to be really, really exceptional, that from thousands you would stand out. You would be different. Your video is different. Your video is it's I mean, when they rate it with others, it's different. Your essays is different. And trust me, LMI is not for everyone. After all of these speakers, if you cannot relate to at least 2-3 of them, trust me, LMI is not for you, because you should be able to relate with what some of the speakers are saying, if not all of them. So if you cannot relate with them, maybe you're not there yet, and maybe next year you should consider it, and maybe not this year, right? So I'm hoping you are already relating with what the speakers are saying, these amazing speakers are saying, because these people are people that have walked the talk. They have been there, they are there, and right. So thank you so much for taking your time, speakers. And right now we are going to the question and answers. And I will start with the question that was thrown at the LMI coordinator. I'll start with her. She's really gracious enough to still be with us to this hour. Dr. Kuti, if you're with us, you can answer the question that was thrown at you, and then we would give the room for more questions. Thank you.
All right, Madam Moderator, Honorable Plangnang, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being on the call. So there is a question about whether other African countries can apply, and that question is from Bless Josh Lincoln. He says he's from Liberia and he wanted to know if he can apply. So currently, the website only receives applications from Nigerians, only Nigerians, whilst LMI is working towards, expanding and having other African countries participate. Other African countries are not going to participate via the portal, so their participation is likely going to be dependent on their parliaments, and that's where we are right now. This is the first year we want to take it to other African countries, and I cannot on this call say the countries that would be involved or the parliaments that would be involved, but at this point, non-Nigerians would only be able to participate through their parliaments. I hope that gives you some answer. Like I said, again, it's the first time, so we do not have like a blueprint to how it has been done in the past, but it will largely depend on the different parliaments of different African countries. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was brief and direct to the point. Thank you. So now I will be moderating the question and answers. If I don't call your name, if I don't categorically call your name, please don't unmute yourself. So I would be calling your name and you're going to use 60 seconds. Now we're going to start practicing what Honorable Kolapo taught us, right? You're going to use 30 to 60 seconds to say your question, and you will make my work easier if you channel your question to a particular speaker, right? And my speakers, please, you're going to use 60 seconds or at most 90 seconds to answer the question, so we can have as much questions as possible, right? So I would start with, please, I'm sure we've gotten the deal, right? I mean, we don't want to waste any much time, please. Victor Adogbajale, you don't have to introduce yourself, just go straight to the question. I already introduced you. Your name is Victor Adogbajale. I'm sorry if I wasn't your name, but yeah, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity. So my question is this. Now that we have like different sections of the questions, we have the essay and the video. From what my question is to Honorable Kolakbo Imam. So from what Honorable Fahad said, where he mentioned that we should just focus on the challenge, the action, and the outcome. So my question now is, since we have several stories and our facilitators have made us understand that we should focus on just one particular story that mostly interests us, should we also repeat the same thing we said during the essay for the video, or we can focus on something else? So I want to know if we are strictly going straight to the same thing we mentioned during our essay for our videos, or we can diversify a little. Thank you.
Honorable Kolapo, please, in 1 minute also. Thank you. Honorable Kolapo, are you there? Are you with us? Okay. Maybe he is not here with us. Maybe any of the speakers, please, can just unmute and answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, I think let me just come in. Mr. Victor, Yeah, of course, you can stick to for the AC question, stick to one story. While the video for the video, you know, try as much as you can to, or let me put it this way. The reviewer has already seen your AC. Your video is what will expose your communication skills, how confident you are before the camera. It's like a virtual interview. So you can you can respond with something close to the story that you have shared in the essay, but do not move completely out of the topic that you have discussed in your essay. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Fahad. Any second opinion? Any of the speaker in 30 seconds, if you have a second opinion, to just buttress the.
Okay, maybe just to add up a little, it's the same thing Honorable Fahad has said, really. If you're portraying yourself as a medical doctor who works in the communities, in your video, you should talk about a medical problem. So don't be a medical doctor in your essay, and then in the video, you're suddenly a farmer. That's the summary.
Thank you. I mean, there's no better way to say it. Thank you, Honorable Fahad and Dr. Kuti. Sahid Ramon, before you unmute yourself, please, if by some chance your question was answered, you don't have to raise up your hand again, right? So.
All right, thank you. Can I go on? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, clearly.
All right, thank you very much. So my question is something that has not been touched, and quickly is on the selection. So I hear that for some first cohort was 70, some cohorts 45. So I would like to ask what determines the number of fellows that have been selected per cohort. Also, I've seen that in some instances, some state has one fellow, while some states will have 3 and 2. So I also would like to ask, what are the things that facilitate this decision that a state has 1 while another state has 2 or 3? For example, Lagos has constantly had about 1 fellow in recent times, and I'm wondering if it is that maybe the states are not competitive enough. Thank you.
All right, let me do the honors of calling Dr. Kuti to answer that question.
All right, thank you very much for your question. So yes, over the years, the cohort numbers have differed, but in the past 2 years, we have been consistent with 50. So perhaps it's safe to say that that's a number that may reoccur. I can't give categorically a response to what the number will be for 5th cohort, but just using the precedence that 3rd and 4th cohort had 50, perhaps this will be the same situation. Now, as regards to the number for each state, this has really moved in different cohorts, and you're right, some states in different times have had more than 1 person, and really the reasons for the selections differ in different cohorts. So there's always the need to balance, at least there's always 1 from every state. So if we're using 50, for example, and you have 1 from every state and 1 representing the FCT, you have 37, and then you have 13. There are times where in different states, we have people who are just exceptional, and then we have to give that state another slot. Also, there are also times where we're just trying to balance, because we're very sensitive about persons with disability. There's also the sensitivity of gender balance, and so all of these factors eventually lead to why there's an uneven number that happens across different states. And at some point or another, some states have had more than 1. It hasn't just been constant. Just like I said, a couple of factors determine that. But I wouldn't say that participants or applicants should worry themselves. The most targets to be that one, the first one, the one of the 37, and then whatever the distribution for the 13, we leave to God and to other factors that determine it. I hope that answers your question.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Kuti. So I will not be able to call everyone, but then what I can do is you can drop your questions in the chat box so that the facilitators, the speakers can answer the questions, right? So while we are entertaining some of the questions, we will also be entertaining them at the chat box. Yeah, and we already have someone who is answering those questions. So I urge the speakers, please, you can channel some of the you can channel some of your energy to the chat box and answer more questions there. All right, IMK, please, 30 seconds, your question, please.
Hello, good evening. Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are.
So my question has to do with our highest qualification. Last year, I applied with my diploma, and this year I will be finishing my first degree in the next 4 weeks. So I'm confused with which document to apply as my highest qualification.
Please, can one of the speakers just answer in
I
a
think
minute?
Kuti is best to respond to this, Dr. Kuti, if she's around.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I can take this one. So I'd advise that you apply with the current qualification that you already have. If you say you would be done with your bachelor's or your degree in 4 weeks, it means that the application portal would have closed. However, what you actually have at the time of the application is the diploma. So I think that it would be appropriate. Of course, in your CV, you can write that, you know, your bachelor's, it's in view and you're wrapping up, but it's not a degree you have at the time of application. So it would be safe to apply with what you already have. That would be, you know, my own take on this one.
All right, thank you. Like I said, please drop your questions in the chat. I just learned that we have Honorable Christiana. She's actively there answering questions. So please, just drop your questions there. Okay, Usman Mohammed Sani, please, 30 seconds.
So good evening to you all. I would like to thank the facilitators. So my question goes to the last facilitator regarding the CV. Please, I need more clarification regarding how the CV is going to. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kolapo, are you back? Okay. Okay, so I would just, let me do the honors of just answering that. The CV, like Honorable Konapo rightly said, you don't have to put all of your achievements. We know you've achieved a lot. You can keep it to you can summarize your CV the best way possible to 2 to 3 pages and highlight preferably the things on the experiences that relate most with LMI. So for example, if you have more of, say, religious activities, maybe that can relate to other things that you would want to apply, but not to LMI, right? So you look at your CV and honestly ask yourself, these experiences that I've lined up in my CV, would anybody in LMI care to want to find out, or would it make my application even much more stronger? And if the answer is no, just remove them. And it's better to have a 1-page strong CV, relevant CV, than to have 5 pages of CV that has no relevance whatsoever to LMI. So that's one way to put it. So make your CV, edit it. Please don't scan your old CV and just send it to the reviewers. Be intentional about how you put your CV together. So Friday, Oga, have I called you? I think I've called you before. So please, if I've called you, you can put down your hands.
You've not called my name. My name is Friday. You've not called my name.
Okay, Friday, Oga, please, you can ask your question.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you. And I appreciate the facilitators and the organizers of this masterclass. My question is about how LMI assesses potentials in applicants who do not have formal leadership experiences or have extensive institutional experiences. For example, I'm a civil servant whose work, is in the intersection of policy and communication. But the emphasis on proven leadership experience, sometimes I feel like it disadvantages me as an emerging professional. So I want to understand how LMI distinguishes between absence of leadership titles and the absence of leadership capacity, because I feel sometimes that because I do not have these titles, I may be disadvantaged when I'm compared with my peers from my state or in the same competitive brackets? Thank you.
Thank you for that very important question. And please, can anybody answer in one of the facilitators?
Good evening, Friday. I got your name correctly. We don't look at titles as a proof of leadership. You know, we believe that leadership is you taking initiative. You are a proactive person. So you just need to show us how you've made impact in your own little way, how you've helped your community. It may not be we appointed you or you were appointed as something special advisor or you were elected into maybe office or something. Just how you were able to take initiative to solve a problem or to develop your community or to just put impact, to just show impact. That's what we're just looking for. Not that you must necessarily have a title at the back of your name or when you were elected as this, when you were appointed as this, when you were shown little office or when somebody, no, we just want you to show that or you can take initiative and then you can make impact on people's life. That's just it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please drop your questions in the chat and hopefully the recording will capture all of that. Just to add to that question, there's a very important question. You have to understand that LMI is looking to build public servants, public leaders, right? You're a civil servant. I mean, you are so much in line with what LMI is looking for. So you don't need a title. The reviewers are experts that can expert leaders that can spot leadership from far. I mean, you don't need to have a title or whatsoever. You are if you believe you are the right candidate, all you need to do is to prove it, right? So you don't have to feel disadvantaged of feeling because you don't have some title and you've disqualified yourself before. I mean, what have these speakers been telling you all this while? Don't disqualify yourself even before you get the chance to show yourself. So if you believe you are the person that LMI is looking for, then shoot your shot. Bumojo Chubi Agada, 30 seconds. We would stop these questions. I'm sorry, we will not be able to take everyone. Just a few minutes and we'll be done. Like I said, just keep on dropping your questions in the chat and hopefully you will get the answers. So go on.
Thank you very much. My question is, what if my area of interest is different from my past experiences? For instance, the motivation I want to lead with and use to weave my story. What if that is not like in alignment with my career path or like my past career pathway? How do I weave this in a reasonable manner? How do I bridge the fact that, okay, I am coming from here, but this is now where I want to go to, although I don't have like experience in where I want to go to, but then like I have other experiences. And then when exactly is the LMI camp? Like when is the program exactly? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any of the speakers, please.
I'm sorry, this was addressed to Mr. Fahad.
All right, perfect.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I think what you need to understand is that, you see, I mentioned this, you might have different experiences, but one thing that defines a good leader is focus. You have to have a focus that if I am here today, I would be here tomorrow, or where I am today will connect me to where I will be tomorrow and next tomorrow. So that defines how focused leader you are. You can obviously, probably due to one reason or the other, switch path along the way from one path to another, but I believe on applications like this, being it LMI or other leadership programs out there, they are looking for focus. They are looking for a single story that will connect you from how you were 5 years ago to where you are today and where you are planning to be in the next 5 to 10 years. So I think you should find a way to align your story. If where you want to be tomorrow or your you're shifting to another career path, if it is within the same team, well, fine. If it is not, I think you have to find a way to connect your story to where you want to be tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very beautifully put.
I
So
think
I
the
think
last one, probably Dr. Kuti, she's asking of when will the program begin? I think something like that.
okay.
Oh, okay, great. I know that that has been answered in the chat box. And of course, what I can say is that it would likely happen in the last quarter of the year, but the exact date will be communicated accordingly.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kuti. Tahir Ibrahim, 30 seconds, please. Are you with us, Tahir Ibrahim? Your hands are raised. Okay. I would move to Benjamin Shein. 30 seconds, please. If I've answered, if your questions are answered, please you can bring down your hands. Benjamin Shein. Okay. Raimi Idris.
Good evening. Please get the
Yes, I can hear
clarification.
you.
Get the clarification. Yeah, I want to get the clarification on those living outside their state of origin. What chances do they have, or do they have to be currently residents of their state of origin since it's a single person per state selection?
Let me quickly answer this question. No, you don't have to be in your state of origin. You can be anywhere in Nigeria, and you are currently building your capacity in leadership. You have all your experiences in a particular state. All you have to do is put it on paper and a video and prove to the reviewers that you are what LMI is looking for. So, but you have to mention your state of origin when you are asked. But you have to be, and you can be anywhere in Nigeria, and you are being the leader that LMI is looking for. So no, you're not disadvantaged because you're not in your state of origin. So yeah. Sharif Adam, can you unmute yourself? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, Crystal.
Yes, my question is, do our story need to be from a professional experience, like, some fellowship or scholarship require that your stories should like come from a professional experience? Like, for example, a story about how your effort has impacted on a family, like a sibling or relative. Is it advisable like to use this story for the purpose of the LMI application?
Any of the speakers, please, Honorable Kolapo, or any of the speakers.
Okay, thank you so much. So just like Honorable, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm hearing.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so just like Honorable Deborah advised, right? If you can structure the story to follow the STAR approach, which is the situation, the task, right? The task, action, and results, right? If you can structure it such that it follows the exact approach that yes, you actually did something. There's no small, leadership efforts, whether be it personal within your own, whether it's on a community level, whether it's from your classroom. There's no small leadership, effort. So far, you can communicate how exactly you're able to impact that experience for the other people. So yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Kolapo. We are rounding up in few minutes right now. So I'll just take 2 questions and that will be it. Joshua Bless Lincoln, 30 seconds, please.
Thank you so much. So, quickly, I'd like to know. So, when you were answering my question, you said that I will have to reach out to a member of my parliament. I just need to have some clarity around it. It said that I will need to request a member of my parliament to recommend me before I can apply. That's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Joshua. I just dropped a reply on the chat box, but again, yeah, it's more an institutional parliament arrangement. It doesn't require a single member of parliament. So again, this is the first time that we're trying to go to other African countries, and it would depend on the response that we get from the institutions to take this further. So parliaments have been alerted, and once we are certain what each parliament state is, then I'm sure this parliament will go ahead to also communicate to young leaders in their countries. So that's how it's going to happen for other participants from other countries. Really, it's more an institutional thing as opposed to just one member of parliament recommending a particular person. I hope this gave context. Again, it's not you, but I'm very sure if not this year, maybe next year, Liberia will be a part of it. Really, it's an institutional thing. Nothing you should give yourself so much headache about, but definitely continue looking out for it. I'm sure as we stretch our feet to other parts of Africa, not in no long time, Liberia will be one of the participating countries.
Thank you so much. Oyiniyi Adeniyi, 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. My question is, let's say for instance, I'm coming from student leadership then down to civil service now. And since they said we should emphasize on one thing, is it possible to marry the two together, both student leadership then transitioning into civil service, because they have a kind of sync together? Thank you.
Thank you. Please, any of the speakers?
Yeah, of course. If you look at it, while in student leadership, you are serving people, so you are a public servant. Now you are transitioning into civil service, or you are already in civil service. So definitely, you have been in the student activism or student advocacy, supporting and helping students. Now you are in the civil service, providing support for the public. So of course, you can. It's a story that you can merge, and it's really definitely can be connected.
Thank you. All right, I will take the last question. I'm really sorry. I will not be able to answer. I will not be able to call on everyone. Akan Nonu Miracle, you can ask your question. The remaining, please put them in the chat. The speakers would respond to you. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you can hear me.
Go ahead, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. Okay, I just want to quickly ask regarding leadership, to demonstrate leadership experience. Is it time bound? Like, some applications may require that you talk about your recent leadership experience, or you can talk about your previous leadership experience. This 2026, let's say maybe you are in school 2015 to 2019. Okay, and you had a lot of leadership experience. Maybe after school you didn't have you had to chase money and all of those things, so you are not much in that aspect. But now you want to connect back. Is it going to affect, or they are strictly interested in your recent
So the
leadership?
question didn't specify whether you can go back or you can have to stick maybe for recent professional experience. But based on what you have mentioned, well, if you have a recent story, I think that would be really good, because it shows how recent you are giving back or you are contributing to your society and your community. So it would be better than going back way probably 10 years ago, sharing a story of 10 years ago to complement your current reality of today. So if you have a current story that reflects your leadership experience, I think is the best thing to do than going back or sharing stories of way back from years ago.
All right, thank you very much.
All right. So we would like to stop here. Please, while we conclude, you can just drop your questions in the chat. And yes, the recordings for you guys. So it will be uploaded on our official YouTube channel. You can access it there. We would share, of course, we would share the link to you via your email address, the same way we communicated. We have been communicating with you guys. And I would like to ask a personal favor to the facilitators. Please, you can drop your LinkedIn profile on the chat, in the chat, and these guys can get to connect with you guys. And then if they have questions, or maybe they need some sort of maybe personalized, I cannot guarantee you, I cannot guarantee anybody here that you would get personalized review or personalized support, but I am crossing my fingers because these are very, 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 very busy people. They're extremely busy people. But this video, the recordings will suffice. I trust it will suffice. When you go back and listen to the recordings, it will definitely suffice. But then if you still require further support, you can reach out to the speakers on LinkedIn. Hopefully you get a reply from them. But if they don't, please don't take it personal. Like I said, they're very busy people. So our speakers, esteemed speakers, you can drop your LinkedIn. They can get to follow you on LinkedIn and get to ask you questions. Right now, I would like to appreciate some people before I give the stage to the coordinator of this. I'm sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to look at what's next on the program. Okay, I have it here. Okay. Oh, all right. So before I officially close the session, I would like to acknowledge some fellows that have been working behind the scenes, right? They haven't spoken to you not once, but they have done at least most of the work. Honorable Pana, she coordinated the whole session. Please, let's give her a round of applause. She's my leader. So thank you for all the work you've been putting behind the scenes and making sure this session is currently holding. And also I would like to appreciate Honorable Christiana. Honorable Christiana is the Assistant Secretary of the LMI. Thank you so much for attending to the questions in the chat. And Honorable Watife Abona, she's also a fellow of the first cohort. Thank you so much for the contribution. And all the amazing fellows, trust me, we have lots of fellows that are here and they are doing everything possible to make sure the whole sessions, it's happening so seamlessly like it's happening now. And of course, to all the speakers, Honorable Bernice Abeku, I'm not sure she's still here, Honorable Eloka Odua, Dr. Kuti, Honorable Fahad Longman, Honorable Great Owete, Honorable Deborah Dean Ikriku, Honorable Kolapo Imam, thank you so much for joining us. And to my humble self, thank you, Planan. All right. Thank you so much for taking your time to join us. Please take everything, every knowledge that you know outside of this. I can tell you with my full chest, you can bin it, you can discard it. This is what you need. Everything you've learned here is the only thing you need. And trust me, is the only thing you need. So this overrides whatever prior knowledge you have. Yes, it overrides it. So thank you so much. Your time here is not wasted. I can guarantee you, if you can put everything you've learned here to good use, I can guarantee you, you would see the results. And I would like to add the fact that maybe you're not selected after doing everything that you're supposed to do and somehow you're not selected. I would like to tell you it has nothing to do with your leadership, or maybe you're not good enough, or it's not really you, right? it's that number one, it's highly competitive, really, really highly competitive. And secondly, it's, time and chance. Maybe this is not your time. Maybe you should try another time. I know highly competitive fellows that try 3 times, one, two, three times before they got in. Yeah. So if you're very, 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 very lucky enough that you tried once and you got it, good and fine. But some of you have to try maybe more than 2 times. And so I sincerely want to wish you the best. And like I said, you can always reach out to us via LinkedIn, via the official email. If you have credible questions you would like to ask, you can reach out to us, and you can reach out to the speakers via their LinkedIn. Like I said, thank you so much. And we look forward to welcoming you officially as the fellows of the 5th cohort. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.